What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is going to be a rather intriguing one because I'm going to be not only revealing the full set list for Tactical Masters, which will be the next deck build set coming up I think in a few weeks actually. But I'm also going to be going to be discussing whether or not it's worth buying, and whether or not you should just get the singles or just get the box itself. The reason being is because a lot of these deck build sets don't really have good reprints. Like I think Ancient Guardians was the name. Ancient Guardians really didn't have a whole lot. In fact, I'm actually gonna go on there now. Go onto the card database website. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Well, that's if my laptop will actually work normally. Too many updates on this fucking laptop, I swear. Anyway, let's see. Go products. It was like Ancient Guardians or something like that. Let's see. Was this the one with the Octoadics? Yeah. I thought so. So Ancient Guardians had so many bad reprints. Like the reprints were bad. You had Phenomenon, the king of poisonous snakes; Phenomenaga, the deity of poisonous snakes; Evil Dragon Anada; Light Serpent, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. There were a lot of bad reprints. In fact, the only cards in the set that were reprints in the set that were worth picking up were cards like Wavering Eyes, Trade In, Pankratops, and Skullmeister. Those are the only good reprints in the set. So, this one, it could be up there. It could be up there as one of those sets where it's just, really bad. By the way, shout out to Starbucks for the coffee, not sponsored. Cold brew is awesome. They finally got it right this time. Shout outs to them. And I got coffee on my pants and my pant leg. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this episode. If you guys are and you guys want to see more, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description. And if you guys have fan mail that you guys want to send me, and you guys want me to open the fan mail up on the channel, the info will be in the description as well. I've already talked about all of the cards that are in the set. Sorry guys, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. Oof, excuse me. Anyway, I've already talked about all the new cards that are in the set. I've already went in depth with them. So if you guys have not checked out those videos, I highly recommend you check them out. This set was actually kind of interesting. So starting off, you have the Valence archetype. So you have Shinonome, the Valence Priestess, Scion, the Valence Archer, Nazuki, Hojo, Valence Buster Baron, Valence Voltage Viscount, Mad Marquise, Dominator Duke, Mamanaka, the Valence United, Valence Genesis Grand Duke, Valence Wars, the Place of Beginning, Valence Whirl, Shinra Bansho, Valence Whirl, Konig, Kong Visent, I believe it's pronounced. So the archetype has 2 field spells, which is pretty cool, and a regular spell, which is not too bad. Then of course that's basically it for the Valence. Next up we have the Labyrinth archetype. So we have lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, Labyrinth Archfiend, Ariane the Labyrinth Servant, Ariana the Labyrinth Servant, Labyrinth Shan. If you guys hear barking in the background, yeah, that's my grandparents' dog. She's like 4 or 5 or something like that. And they basically bark at nothing. So I do apologize. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right. Labyrinth Chandraglier, I believe is how it's pronounced. Labyrinth Stovey Torby. Labyrinth Kuklok, I believe it's pronounced. Labyrinth, which is the field spell. Labyrinth Setup, which is the quick play spell. Welcome Labyrinth. And if you hear other noises in the background, the school year just started basically, and yeah, gardeners are out there, so disregard that. Anyway, fair welcome Labyrinth, Labyrinth Barrage, Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch. And that's pretty much it for that. Now, for the Runic archetype, I did talk about this before. I think I talked about all these before. Yeah, I think so. But if I didn't, then I'll try to explain how each card works. So first up, we have Runic Fountain, which is the field spell for them, and it basically allows you to activate a Runic quick play spell, or rather activate Runic quick play spells from your hand during your opponent's turn. So it basically allows you, so it acts as basically a way to play the quick play spells as if they were traps, basically, which is really nice. And then also has an effect where it says once per turn you can, if you activate a Runic quick play spell, you can target up to 3 Runic quick plays in your grave, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, then draw the same number of cards. So it basically resets your deck, if you will, which is really nice. We have Runic Allure, which gives you the power to manipulate your opponent's draws during their draw phase and just banish the top card of their deck. So, but obviously there is a catch. You have to play quick play spells every time. So if you activate, like, let's say you activated 8 quick play spells in a single turn. Basically, you're able to just banish the top 8 cards of your opponent's deck, which could be a factor, but it might not. It all depends on what deck you play, basically. And then speaking of the of the quick plays, we have Runic Tip, which is basically the Rhoda for the whole deck, but also has another effect where it reads special summon a runic monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. And the first part of the effect says add a runic card from your deck to your hand, except this card, and then banish the top card of your opponent's deck. So basically, it focuses on banishing your opponent's deck, and honestly, I think I might try this out. Because, truth be told, this is more of an anti-meta strategy, truth be told. It's more of an anti-meta strategy, and this is actually perfect going second, because when your opponent sets up their board, you can just break their board by playing Feather Duster and Dark Ruler no more, and you're essentially just good. You essentially just have GG on board easily. And then of course too we have Runic Flashing Fire, which I believe lets you trap hole one of your opponent's special summon monsters, and then you get to banish the top 2 cards of their deck. Or you can and again the same thing, special summon a runic monster from the extra deck. So basically you don't need any forms of like poly or anything like that. You don't need any of those to summon out your fusions, which is not too bad. So in a way it's kind of like a Waking the Dragon, which is actually pretty cool. Then we have Runic Destruction, which acts as a MST, which is really nice. Runic Dispelling, I believe acts as a Dark Law. So whenever your opponent adds cards from their deck to their hand, except by drawing them, you get to target a random card in their hand and ditch it, which is pretty good. So it's basically a Dark Law, which is really nice. Runic Freezing Curses has the imperm effect, which is pretty hilarious. But you get to banish the top 3 cards of their deck, which is not too bad. Runic Slumber has the effect where you can protect one of your monsters from being destroyed by battle or card effect, which is really nice. So cards such as such as like Mirror Force or whatever, those types of cards they don't affect your monsters, which is really nice. However, though, the only problem is that it can't attack this turn, so you would have to use this card during your opponent's battle phase, which is pretty crazy. Runic Golden Droplet gives your opponent a draw, but you get to banish 4 cards from the top of their deck. So it basically forces it basically forces them to draw, and then you send the top 4 from their deck banished. So if they have 5 cards in their deck, this card basically just gives you game easily. And then of course we have Runic Smitting Storm, which basically gives you the opportunity to banish cards from the top of their deck equal to the number of cards they have on board. So if their board is completely full, including the field zone, that's what? 5, 10, 12? That's 12. It could be up to 12 cards from their deck, which is insane. And then of course, to the fusions we have Hugin the Runic Wings, which basically lets you 1-for-1 a Runic Field spell from your deck to your hand, which is really nice. Moonin the Runic Wings lets you lets you 1-for-1 a continuous spell from your deck to your hand. And then, of course, Jerry the Runic Fangs basically lets you target a non-quick play Runic spell in your grave, and you add it to your hand, which is really nice. And the best part is that Jerry has another effect where it says, when this card is destroyed by battle, you can target a card on the field and destroy. So it basically acts as a 1-for-1 with that effect. And then the reprints of the set, we have Astrograph Sorcerer, Book of Eclipse, Senate Switch, which is a very weird card for the set, but I'll read its effect. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can move one monster on your side of the field to an adjacent horizontal unoccupied monster zone. This is basically for, so with a deck like Mech Knights, this card Senate Switch was actually being played in Mech Knights because you were able to manipulate your board to where you can then OTK or perhaps even FTK your opponent to the point of no return, which is pretty crazy. Scapegoat, a very weird reprint, but still I'm okay with that. Compulsory Evacuation Device, a really old card from Invasion of Chaos, pretty funny enough. Trap Trick, Invader of Darkness, another IOC card. Drone Lockbird, actually a really good reprint. I think it needed one actually. Absolute King Backjack, Lilith, Lady of Lament, Bear Blocker, which I don't think I've ever seen this card before. Let's see here. 3-star Dark Fiend, 1600 attack, 0 defense. During your opponent's turn, set cards in your spell and trap zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. If a set card or cards in your back row is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, this card gains 800 attack. Woo! That's actually pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Malice, Lady of Lament, Quick Booster, Cosmic Cyclone, Pendulum Fusion. Excuse me. Duelist Alliance, Anti-Spell Fragrance, Reckless Greed, Imperial Iron Wall, which basically is the counter to Call By, which is pretty funny, which is a pretty hilarious card. Fiend Griefy, and Pendulum Switch. So now that you guys know the set list, the question is this worth it? Is it worth buying the box? It's hard to say, because we don't really know exactly what the collector's rares are, but I think we might be able to find out now. Give me 1 second, guys. I think we might know. I might have an idea of what the collector's rares will be. I'm gonna have to take a look on YG.org. Nope, nothing. No, YG organization doesn't have it. It just has the ultra rares, super rares, and the rares. They're gonna be in this set. In fact, actually, all of the yeah, in fact, all the reprints are going to be rares, which is kind of stupid. But the question is the set worth it? It's hard. It's hard to say, because for one, we don't really know exactly which archetype is going to be meta. We don't know which one's going to be rogue, which one's going to be a tier 2 deck. We don't really know. Me personally, I think the one archetype that's going to be tier 0, like a competitive meta deck, is the Labyrinth, because of the fact that it's basically another one of those isekai, another one of those isekai waifu decks, which, I mean, dare I say more? Dare I say more? Me personally, I think the Runic deck might be the rogue deck, just because it's an anti-meta strategy and it forces your opponent to it basically forces your opponent to try to out the board, and if they can't out the board, it's essentially game. It's essentially game at this point. The Valence archetype, I don't know. Looking at it, I don't know. Looking at this, it could be meta, but it just depends. But the question becomes: is it better to get the singles or the box itself? Personally, honestly, I think getting the box might be better, mainly because of the fact that these reprints are actually good. These are really good reprints, like such as cards like Pendulum Switch, which the effect reads you can target a card in your pendulum zone, special summon it. You can target one pendulum monster in your monster zone. Place that pendulum monster in your pendulum zone. So basically, it lets you switch from the pen zone to the monster zone, and then from the monster zone back into the pen zone, which is not too bad. Iron Wall, again, I mentioned before, is a counter to cards such as such as Call By, Dark Law. It basically counters that, if you will, which is really nice. Reckless Greed is kind of an odd one, but it's not too bad. You get to draw 2, but you have to skip your next two draws, but still, it's not too bad. Anti-Spell is kind of an odd one because of the fact that you have a lot of spells in the Runic deck, but I think it was meant to be paired. Yeah, I think it's meant to be paired with the Valence and the Labyrinth archetype I believe. Cards such as Compulse is a really old card, but it's still really good. Invader of Darkness is like not the best reprint. They could have had a better reprint than Invader, but it does force your opponent to not play any quick play spells, so it's kind of like a spell canceller. But personally, I think spell canceller would have been better, but that's just me. That's just my opinion anyway. Cosmic Cycle is a really good reprint, but I think personally, Twin Twister probably would have been a much more better reprint, only because of the fact that with Cosmic you're paying a pretty hefty price to pop a back row that's on your opponent's board. Whereas opposed to Twin Twister, all you're doing is discarding a card. That's all you're doing. So Twin Twister probably would have been a much more better reprint, but that's just me anyway. Everything else, I think everything else is pretty good. Obviously, the Book of Eclipse is a very busted card. Just absolutely insane. Astragrass Sorcerer, they could have done better. I think Konami could have done better with this set, with this card. I think, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what the cards they could have put instead of the Sorcerer. But honestly, I think it's worth getting the box. But if you guys don't think it's a good set, and you guys want to get the singles, that's on you guys. Me personally, I think getting the box itself is a lot better, only because of the fact that the reprints are insane. These archetypes are actually pretty good, and especially the Runic archetype, which I'm tempted to build. How many cards are in the set? I think it's all like, yeah, it's literally all spells and traps, basically, which is pretty insane. So I don't know. This deck will probably be a very, very hard one. Which here's the thing with these cards, with the fusions, I just realized it requires 2 Runic monsters. I don't know if we're gonna get any more support for them for this archetype in the future, but I truly believe that this archetype could potentially be the new meta as we move towards the up and coming ban list, which I think is supposed to happen sometime this month or possibly in September. So honestly, I can't wait. But with that being said, that brings me to the question of the day: which of these three archetypes will you be playing once Tactical Masters comes out? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, as I was saying, make sure you guys post in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday, make sure you guys, again, post comments below, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. If you guys want to send fan mail, the info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.